we go. So thank you very much for coming. I just have to make a very big mention to Julie because I went out to her house in the week, and it is the most Halloweeny house I've seen. It's amazing. Lots of little kids there getting excited. That's very cool. All right, now all of you have Thermomixes, but I do have to just give the little plug that if you know of anybody who doesn't have one and is interested, we have the best offer on at the moment, which is the $29 second bowl and blade set when someone purchases a TM6. So if there's anyone you're talking to, please let them know, whoever your consultant is, let them know their details, because it is an incredible deal. Also, if they're wondering about how they're going to pay for their Thermomix, we do have an option to join the team and earn a Thermomix with 4 sales in their first 60 days. Now, both those offers run until early December, but the bowl and blade set will sell out before then. I am 100% sure.
Sorry, Mandy, just a quick one. Does this BBL apply to the upgrade as well from the 31?
If they buy,
yeah,
but not if they trade in.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yep. All right. So welcome to our spooky Thermomix Halloween. Now, I was going to tell the girls I was going to try and make a witch's hat. I didn't have time, but that's my little theme for Halloween there. Okay. Or yeah, I did look at one in the shops, but I was being very environmentally friendly and I didn't buy it. Right, we are going to go over to Irene first because her dish took longer than anticipated to make.
It certainly did. So I experimented with this recipe last night. So I made they're called ghost meringues. So got a whole tray of them from last night. But I guess there were a few lessons learnt last night. So I wanted to go through that today. But these are what I made last night, little ghost meringues. They're quite crispy and they're quite tasty. So we're going to modify the recipe a little bit tonight. But a few things, I guess, when you're making a meringue is to make sure you've got a really clean bowl. One of the challenges some people find is their eggs split when they're doing a meringue. So the idea is to get your bowl super clean. So you can do a vinegar wash. There's all sorts of tips. I didn't do a vinegar wash with mine. I've just given it a really thorough wash. I've used the scrubber to make sure there's nothing under the blades, really spotless. And I use paper towel to dry it out or air dry, so that you're not putting potentially any fats back into or against the bowl. Maybe you've got a dirty towel. So you can also use the pre-clean function on the Thermomix. Use the top one, so the 105 degrees for the, the burnt on, with a little bit of dishwashing liquid, and that'll really cut through because it's boiling water, so it's above boiling water, so it's really going to cut through and remove any fat residue. So let's start this recipe now. Back to a few more things. So on the recipe, it talks about using 100 grams of egg whites to 270 grams of sugar. So when I made these yesterday, I dropped the sugar. I think I used about 135 grams to my 100 grams. And I do think it affects the amount of pavlova or amount of egg white that I was able to produce. Bit of research today, and they recommend that you do a 1:2 ratio. So if you're doing a couple of eggs and your egg whites weigh up to say 70 grams, you're going to do 140 grams of sugar. Tonight I've weighed it out. I think it was 108 grams of egg whites. So I'm doing 216 grams of sugar. So you're doing weigh out your eggs, then pour in, and then weigh out your sugar so you get the right quantities. Also in my bowl, so along with my sugar, is some salt. I've also added a couple of tablespoons of corn flour. That's going to give you a really marshmallowy center. If you want it a bit harder, leave that out. And the other thing I've added is cream of tartar. So a couple of pinches of the cream of tartar. I usually just use like the back of a spoon and put a couple of little dots in that. Basically, if you've ever done egg whites and they've split, it's because the proteins and the water are trying to separate. Cream of tartar basically pulls them together and stops them from separating. So that's my secret ingredient to ensuring I don't have any issues with split egg whites. All right. When I made this last night, and it could be because I used less sugar, I had to whip it for about 20 minutes. The recipe says 10. really, we're going to have a look after 10 minutes using this revised recipe tonight to see how we go. And the other modification to this recipe, it baked at 135. In my opinion, they're a little bit too dark, so they're not as white as I'd like them. So I'm going to bake them tonight at 100 degrees, and I'll share some photos with Mandy to share with you tomorrow to show you the alternative results. Oh, and the other thing I'm going to do, I've used last night, I used this size chopped chip, which hopefully you can see is quite big. It's giving it its big monster eyes. I actually found some mini dark chopped chips. This is a Woolies brand, and I think they're going to look a little bit cuter. I think we'll see. But you can see they're much smaller. So I think I'm going to use these tonight just to see whether I prefer them instead. All right. So we're not here for 20 minutes. Let's start. Okay. So I asked you to preheat the oven. My oven doesn't take that long, and given how long this is going to whip, my oven only takes about 5 minutes to heat up. Get your tray ready. So I've got a non-stick Silpat with my tray ready to go. In goes my sugar and all those other ingredients. So sugar, salt, corn flour, cream of tartar. And we're going to mill those down for 20 seconds to basically make icing sugar.
Just whilst Irene's doing that, oh, you can see it. Okay, she's only got a couple of seconds left. I'll show you later.
You can't hear me, but it looks like a bit of a witch's brew happening at the top. So that's my contribution to Halloween, I think. All right, so from here, it asks you to insert your butterfly whisk straight away, but I'm going to scrape it down. I just want to get all of that sugar down into my bowl. These are on the mix shop, these thin spatulas. You can just use the spatula that comes with the Thermomix, but I quite like this one. So we've got a lovely icing sugar combo there. Then I'm adding in my egg whites. My salt was in with the sugar. So without the measuring cup on, oh, hang on, butterfly. It's basically going to cook these for 10 minutes at the 37 degrees. Now, the temperature is really important because that's actually going to help with the the volume. It will also help the sugar dissolve, which stops your pavlova from weeping. So if you ever had undissolved sugar, you'll get those weeping, running sugar around the outside of your pavlova. That's where this 37 degrees is fantastic. So I'm going to start that. On to you, Mandy.
Oh, unmute myself. Thanks, Irene. That was amazing. We are so lucky to have you going off and learning all those things and passing on the information. So thank you very much. I just wanted to show you too, you saw Irene's mat. There's a couple of other options too. It depends on the size, but the ones from the mix shop have these little circles on them. And I can't remember what it was. I made something the other day and it was really helpful having the little circles. So this one is the middle-sized one that has quite small circles. And the bigger tray has the bigger circles. So I think Irene's very accurate and very clever with all her piping. For me, I need something like that. It's a bit of a guideline. So just be aware they are available. Okay, so I am going to make the jack-o'-lanterns. So, oh, hang on, get to the right spot. The jack-o'-lantern stuffed peppers. Okay, so we've got something that's not, I don't know, they look very Halloweeny. I've actually baked a couple to show you what the finished item looks like because they take a while to cook, but now they look pretty good. So I'm going to start cooking. Now I'm actually going to skip this and come back to it. It's really telling you how to prepare the peppers. so that they look right, to make them jack-o'-lantern, but we're going to come back to that. They do have a couple of little videos though, which is quite helpful. Preheat my oven. Okay, so I'm going to make the filling first. I've got parsley and parmesan, so that's going in. Ten seconds, speed 5. There we go, nice and grated up in there. Got to put that into a bowl. Give it a bit of a scrape. Next, I have 1 garlic clove. I've actually decided to put 2 in, so I've got 2 garlic cloves. Now, what I do with my garlic is actually use the blade cover peeler. And I peeled the other day, I peeled 6 heads of garlic, just separate them, pop them in there on top of the blade cover peeler. I cover them with water, and I did it 1.5 minutes on speed 4. And not every single one had popped out of its skin, but because the skin was wet, they popped out really easily. And I've just got a whole lot of them frozen in the freezer. So that's that. Now the onion, I put in extra onion because I have a husband who doesn't like celery, and celery's next. So onion and carrots. There's a bit of extra carrot in there too. Okay. 30 grams of olive oil. I love it now. It always used to be, and I think some recipes still say chop and then add the olive oil, but it's so easy when you just pop it all in together and chop it with the oil in there already. Five seconds, speed 5. Scraping down so everything's all beautifully chopped up in there, just scraping down the sides. And I'm going to put the simmering basket on top. And anything now at 95 degrees or higher, you should have the simmering basket on rather than the measuring cup. So it's going to cook for 3 minutes. And whilst it's cooking, I'm going to actually prepare my capsicum to show you. Should be able to hear me okay, I think. All right. So I'm just going to do one. And all you do is you chop the top off like that. So you've got a nice lid, and it helps if you've got a capsicum. You need a capsicum that's going to, you know, stand up, that's got a bit of a, you know, a bit of height to it. I actually had some in the fridge, but they were really squat little ones because I bought the odd bunch. But no, I had to go and get a couple of that were better like this, and I've got a red one like that. If you can find them with the lid on, I think, and with the stem on, I think that looks better. And then all you're going to do is literally chop all the inside out. It's very simple. So pull all that out. And those little videos show you how to do this as well. And then you've got to make it's as if you're doing a pumpkin. So I'm going to do it so that my face is the highest bit here. And all I'm going to do is make, it actually says mark it with little cocktail sticks, but I don't think you need to. So just taking that one out there, one eye there. Quite hard to see on the yellow. There we go, we've got another eye there. I don't know if you can see them, but there they are. And the nose just is inverted, so we go across, whoops, there. It's a funny little nose, this one, but anyway. And then a mouth. So I tried to do some funny little teeth. It's really, you know, however you want to do it, but I'll just take that bit out there. Take a bit off the bottom of that tooth there. And then I'm going to try and have a tooth coming up from the bottom in a second. Got to think about it a little bit, but it's just like, I don't know, do any of you do the pumpkins? I used to do them for my kids all the time. It was fun. I did have a look today, but I couldn't actually see one.
That looks pretty great, Mandy.
Do you think so? Anyway, here we go. All right, so there you go. There's actually, I'll put it in front of me, you probably see it a bit better. So there's the face. Then I'm going to add some chicken mince. Grab from the fridge. Now it says 300 grams, but you know what? I'm just going to use a whole pack of this because I'm not going to. I'll save some of the mixture for another day. So pop all that in. Actually, have to laugh. Using my fingers. I'm sure most of you know Janny. She cannot stand touching meat or dough or anything. She has to have gloves on for everything. Makes me laugh. Anyway. All right, that's that. 2 medium eggs. I've got my eggs here. A reserve grated Parmesan and the parsley. Then it says 40 grams of breadcrumbs. Now I don't eat breadcrumbs. I don't do the gluten-free bread very often, and I'm certainly not going to have the bread with gluten in it. So I'm just going to quickly use my second bowl because we know how important they are to have. And I'm quickly going to make, so even if you're going to do breadcrumbs, if you've forgotten, this is why it's really good to have a second bowl. So as I said, if you know anybody who's after a Thermomix, this is our best deal ever. So I'm going to swap bowls, and instead of breadcrumbs, I'm just putting almonds in. I'm going to make almond milk. So what I can do, I've got my 40 grams in there. I'm going to save my recipe. It's bookmarked there. I'm just going to turn this up to speed 9 for a few seconds. And then I can just swap back. Whereas if I only had the one bowl, I'd have to really plan that one. Or I have to tip everything out of this bowl and wash it. So that's going in. My almond meal's going in there. Good. Salt and pepper. The salt's just warped.
Boone, can you just pop back to me for 1 second? I just want to show everyone what the meringue's looking like after, that's the 10-minute mark. So I just want to show you, it's still, see how it's falling down rather than staying up? It's still too soft. It's looking good, but I'm going to keep going. So this is done on speed 2. So I'm thinking potentially even speed 3 for the 10 minutes will work. But honestly, you need to just keep going until you get your stiff peaks. Thanks. Thanks, Boone.
Thank you. They look like little ghosts hanging off the end of the butterfly. All right, so I'm just going to mix everything up on speed 4. So all my mixture for the middle of my jack-o'-lanterns. And then it just says fill the prepared peppers with the mince mixture. So I'm just going to do one. So there's my mixture. So that's the chicken mince, the carrots. You could do whatever veggies you wanted in there as well. Okay, so you do that, fill it up. Okay. And then you pop its hat on. So there it is. And then that will go in the oven and cook. And I've actually, as I said, I pre-made some, which I'll show you a little bit later. But that's how you do it. It's super simple. I think they look really effective, and you'll see when I show you the completed one. What you do though, so it goes in the oven for about 25 minutes, and then you take them out, you take the lid off, and you put bits of cheese hanging out all around there, and that becomes hair. All right, so that goes back in and it sort of melts for a few minutes, and it looks, mine's actually melted through the eye, so it looks even worse. But that's what it's all about, being a bit ghoulish and horrible. So that's how you do the capsicum. And I think because Irene, you're still whipping. Yep. Okay. So I am on to make the horror punch, and I just realised I used the wrong lid. Oh, that'll be. Just have to bear with me a second, so I just flip that. Okay, so do you know if you're partway through a recipe and you want to get out of it, you just use the 3 magic dots and you go cancel recipe. Yep. Okay, so we'll go back into my week, and this is just so disgusting, but you know, will be loved by kids and adults who are into ghoulish, all things spooky and ghoulish. All right, start cooking. Okay, so I found this was a little bit confusing. It's telling you to insert the simmering basket and then drain. So you're meant to have maraschino cherries. I didn't have maraschino cherries, so I've got morello cherries. Where's my? I've got these. Okay, so maraschino, I did Google, I went to, you know, one place in Woolies, they've got whatever it is, their alcohol section. They didn't have maraschino cherries, and I Googled Dan Murphy and they didn't have any either. So I thought, right, okay, we're going to go with morello cherries. The good thing about that was I had so many left over, I had to make something else, and I'll show you what that is a bit later. So you can absolutely use the morello cherries, but it's asking you to drain them, but I drained them. You don't want them left, the juice left in the jug, okay, which is a bit confusing. It says transfer the simmering basket to a bowl and set aside. So you want to drain the cherries, but you actually want to keep the juice, and but you don't actually need the juice in the bowl. So as I was saying, it's a bit confusing. So just drain the cherries over another, I drain mine over something. Oh, I drain mine over this jug. Okay, so my cherry juice is in there because you want to keep that because you're going to use it. And then you're going to put the cherries into the lychees, and it's going to give you the eyes that are floating. Are you ready? This is seriously gross. Here we are. We have eyes, and they are the cherries pushed into the lychees. Okay, they're pretty ordinary, but you know, it is Halloween. All right, so that's done. I'm not going to use sugar because I actually looked for cherry juice and I looked for lychee juice, and I ended up buying just a fruit juice, which is all fruits, and it's a red color. But then I thought that's really silly. I'm just going to drain the lychees, drain the cherries, and use those. So those actually have a bit of sugar in them, so I'm not going to add more sugar. 50 grams of ginger. So I'm actually halving the recipe because it's only Andrew and I, and we won't be drinking. Less Kelly's over the road, and I'll bring some over. Okay, where's my ginger gone? Oh, here it is. So with the ginger, it's meant to be finely sliced. So I'm really looking forward to. I'm thinking have you all heard of the Thermomix cutter? So that's coming out next year, and I'm thinking that could be really good for nicely finely sliced ginger. I've got my ginger going in there. I'm going to pop the lid on. And 5 seconds speedate. Remember, if you're doing sugar, that's when your sugar will be in there too. Okay. Spread it down the sides. So that's beautifully chopped up there, all that ginger there. So just like my garlic, I actually saw I could get, I'll take one bit out because Andrew doesn't like ginger. We have to sort of try and hide the ginger. I know he doesn't like it, but I think I over gingered him for a while. So he said nothing but ginger. So ginger it's quite cheap at the moment. So I bought a kilo of it today. And again, I'm going to use the blade cover peeler and I'm going to peel it all and chop it up and put it in the freezer. I didn't understand this step either. So what it says is, it says 2 lemons, but remember I'm halving it. So I've got 1 lemon quartered and pitted. Does pitted just mean take the pips out? I presume it does. It was just a bit an odd way of saying it. So I'm putting that in like that. Anyway. Okay. 400 grams of cherry juice, but I'm using 200 grams. So that is really, I've got a little bit more than 200 grams out of the can. But that's another reason for doing half quantities. Okay. I actually got 300 grams of lychee juice out of the tin. Go. Pop my lid on. 2 seconds, speed 10. Do you think the skins are meant to be in there? I'm a little bit worried about this one. We'll see what it's like anyway. I wonder whether pitted lemons were meant to be without the pit, actually the whole skin taken off, but we'll see. Okay. Oh no, it's all right. Because smells pretty good. Okay, so now what I've got to do is strain it. So strain it into the serving jug, but I'm going to strain it over here because it's a little bit easier. So I've just got my sieve over a bowl. Let that drain into the bowl. There you go. And then I'm going to weigh in. I'm actually just going to. It says weigh in your serving jug. 400 grams of sparkling mineral water. I'm just going to make up a couple of glasses, and you're going to you put crushed ice in the bottom, which I'm not making. But if you did, then what you could do is crush the ice in your Thermomix and make your ice in the freezer. And I'm making the Horrowrpunch, Julie. You make your ice cubes, pop them in here, and then crush up the ice. It does it beautifully. You know, it's the same with cocktails and things. But I'm not going to use ice because we're not really big ice people. But let me just pour a couple of these out. Actually, how are you going, Irene? Oh, it looks like she's good. But let's go back to Irene, and I will do this without anybody looking. So I might make a mess.
No, Mandy, I have to correct it. It's turning into nougat. It's too hot.
Oh, wow.
I had this problem yesterday. I'm going to grab a cold egg to see if I can fix it. So go to Pearl, perhaps.
Yeah, okay, we'll go to Pearl then. But another great lesson, thank you.
Okay. Hi,
Thanks, Pearl.
yeah, no worries. Today I'm making bloodshot deviled eggs. I'll just show you my recipe. Okay, so this is what I'm making.
You're upside down.
Oh, it's upside down.
Upside down, yeah.
Maybe I'll turn it the other way.
That's it. That's better.
Okay, so I'm making these. I've already boiled my eggs using the egg boiler mode, which is the best for making boiled eggs and the soft boiled eggs, as per my daughter Mariah. You all know that with TM6, you can start in the middle of a recipe. So since I've already boiled my eggs, I will start with step 2. That's here. So insert butterfly. Next, add the boiled yolks of the egg. So this is the yolks that I'm going to put. I haven't made this before, so I'm just making it for the first time. That's the advantage of TM6, that you've got the recipe and it just guides you. So 35 grams of beetroot juice. 37, that's fine. Next, 20 grams of extra virgin olive oil. I like chili, so I'm going to use chili infused. It's fine. Next, 2 pinches of cayenne pepper. I've got all that in the bowl. Black pepper, sea salt. Put all that there. Next, it's a very simple recipe. 20 seconds on speed 3. Next, remove the butterfly. Transfer into piping bag. So I've got my piping bag set here. It's a bit runny. Oops. Put one olive. So this is what it looks. So it's that easy. This one looks a bit odd. I'll take out the extra, the eyeball has come off.
It's a bit of a bulging eyeball.
I'll take that out later. So
that's fantastic.
I'll do the others and I'll come back to you.
Wonderful, thank you. I'm just popping a couple of recipes in here. So I'll just quickly show you, I'll show you what I've made in a minute, but I just thought I'd quickly show share my screen with you and show you this fantastic collection that we have. So, not my week. So in my recipes, did you know you can save a cookie dough recipe to your recipes? So you can save a whole collection, sorry. So where is it? I've probably gone past it now. Where is it? Was there before? Oh, Halloween, I saw it. Halloween treats. So this is a UK collection. It's got 17 recipes in it, and it's actually gathered together all the Halloween recipes that were on Cookie Dough before. So those are just the grossest thing, like you want to vomit just looking at them. But they're pretty impressive. The sausage mummies, some other little ghosts, butterbeer, that makes me think of Harry Potter. Spooky spaghetti and meatballs, a flourless chocolate coffin cake, The spider web cupcakes are really cool. I don't know if you know how you do that, but you pipe circles and then you get a toothpick and you just draw it through. So that actually makes it look like the web. The mud, there's Irene's ghosts, candy corn pudding, a ghostly pizza, looks pretty ordinary, Halloween pumpkin tart, this is just disgusting, the spaghetti bloody brain. That's the punch that I've made. That's what Pearl's made. There's the jack-o'-lanterns, and here's some brain cupcakes. So there's certainly plenty of options on Cookie Do if you want to do some really ghoulish and ghastly things for Halloween. All right, not sure how Irene's going there with her fixing. No, not working. Oh dear.
Starting again.
Oh dear, what a shame. Never mind. Maybe you can give people the tips for about the piping.
Well, I will. So I'm just going to do a really quick. I won't get it. I'll get. What time is it? Sorry.
Okay, no, you're all right. You're okay.
No, we've got time. I'm just going to get these on.
Okay.
Picked up, and then I can show them the piping because I really want to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
The mixer just got way too hot.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's interesting.
I think
Is that because it was longer?
No, I think Mum's had the heater on all day, and the eggs. I left the eggs out of the fridge.
Ah.
So I think they say room temperature, but it should really come from the fridge and then at room temperature. So I've got one from the fridge, which is really cold, and I'm going to add one from the packet.
Okay.
So hopefully that fixes take two.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we can come back to me and I'll show you what I've made. Okay. So here we are. It's the only annoying, that's the punch, and the only annoying thing is that the little eyeballs keep floating so that you can see the whites of the eye at the top. But if I try and flick them over, they don't want to. It must be the weight of the cherry. I think it's making it go down. But that's the punch, the horror punch. And as I said, I made a couple of these jack-o'-lanterns earlier so they'd be fully cooked because they take 50 minutes. So there's a little red one there and you can see how the cheese has dripped down, and that's meant to make cheese coming out the eyes as well. It's pretty gross, but you know, it is all about being gross with Halloween. And that was a little yellow one I made, but you can just see its face there as well. So they're a bit of fun. And what I actually did with those ones that I made before, because we are hopefully going camping if the weather's not too awful next weekend, I made a different filling for those ones that I made before. So I've just made there's a recipe on Cookie Do, which is it's a Mexican stuffed pepper. So I just used that recipe for the filling and use that in the ones that I've just shown you. And then obviously I've got the other filling there for the ones that I will bake for tomorrow night's dinner. I don't know. I'm going to be eating little lanterns all week, I think. All right, Pearl, how are your eggs? Oh, she's disappeared. They've all left me. Anyway, so has anyone got any inclination to make anything for Halloween? We inspired you to make anything really gross? You can pop in the chat. Julie, are you going to make anything? Oh dear. All right. Pearl, are you ready to show us your eggs? Wonderful.
They are not the best.
Oops.
But they're okay.
Oh, they look decidedly gross.
They do.
And did you drag like a stick through to try and make them look a bit bloodshot as well?
Veins, yes, and the veins, they looked okay, but but the beauty is it tastes good. So it's
well, that's really important too.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks, Julie. Ghost meringues and the bloodshot eggs. Don't you like my punch? Okay. All right. So Irene, how long are your eggs going to whip for?
Sorry. So I've done less. So I'm hoping that 10 minutes will be enough because I've done 2 eggs rather than the 3. It's coming together pretty quick. I'm also doing it up on speed 3.
Yeah.
And I've turned the temperature off because half my eggs are been out too long. I actually think that's what's caused it, because then it's added the 37 degrees and it's basically turned it into the most velvety product, which I'm going to stir through and use for nougat anyway. So it's not wasted, yeah?
Perfect. Love it. All right. Okay, so whilst we're just waiting, has anyone got any questions? Irene, I might get you to mute yourself because I can hear your thermi going in the background.
Sorry.
That's all right. Anyone got any questions? Or anyone else going to make anything? Selena, Shell, Edith, anyone going to make anything? The whole idea is to inspire you, and I'm glad Julie's going to try the meringues and the eggs. Anybody else going to try anything? The punch? Actually, I'm going to taste it. I haven't tasted it. It's actually pretty good. So and yeah, so it's just topped up. It's just the juices topped up with a bit of sparkling water. Okay, so outside of Halloween, anyone got any questions whilst we're here to answer? No. So I'll just let you know if anyone's in the Bayside area or not too far away. We have a. Oh, that's a good idea. Try the punch and add alcohol for the adults. That's a good one. We are having it's called Festive Fix in the Thermomix class on the 29th of November at 7:15. And it's a new class that's just been developed, which I had a bit of a look at today. Looks fantastic. It's in Hyatt, and I will be sending out, Pearl will let you know, Selena and Edith, about it if you're interested, and I'll be sending something out to all of my customers. Actually put it in my Facebook group, but that will be a bit of fun and yeah, a nice little thing before Christmas. And just let us know if there's other classes that you want us to do for you. We are also planning as a team, we're going to do a couple of classes which with Christmas gifts. We're going to do one on the 17th of this month and one on the 27th. So trying to cover I know Edith and I think Selena was there as well. I did a cook along on a Sunday, and for some people weeknights are better, and for some people Sunday afternoons are better. So we're trying to mix this up a little bit so we can catch everybody. So we're going to do some Christmas gifts. Haven't worked out exactly what they are yet, but we will. And also on the 15th of November, nearly said this month because it feels like it's there already, we are doing an easy essentials class, so look out for that as well. So now we're just really waiting for those egg whites to do their thing. But yeah, anybody got any questions? Please go on.
No pressure, Mandy.
No pressure. No.
Are we allowed to talk about it's public knowledge now with the resizing of the recipes? Can we talk about that yet?
I'm not sure that is public knowledge yet, but it will be.
It's on the
okay. All right, you talk it. You talk about it.
Can you hear me over the
yes, we can hear you.
So one of the exciting features that's coming, if you haven't seen it already, is the ability to resize your recipes. So once it's officially launched, so we can show you how it works in CookieDoo, essentially you can choose a recipe. There'll be select recipes in the beginning, I believe. I've done some testing. I don't know, Mandy, did you do some testing with yours as well? Or?
Yeah, I haven't actually made them, but I've looked at
I have made them. So yeah. Basically you can change number of people you're feeding and therefore increase or decrease the recipe, which is so exciting. It is. No, that's going to be really good. Some of the recipes you can just do it there and then. Some of them you need to put into your created recipes. Does anyone using created recipes? Anyone made anything, created any recipes yet? So you can import from CookieDoo, you can import from the recipe community, and you can put your own recipes in. It's just a little bit of, it's great news for couples. That's right, Selena. It is. Yeah, there are a few of them that do. So not all the recipes go down to 2, but some of them might go, you could be 4, 6 or 8. Some of them will be, 4 or 2. So it's a bit of a mixture, but it is good. I found some of the recipes you can't do less than 2 because it's just the amount of quantities. Like, how are you going to halve an egg? Like, it's just too hard with some of the recipes. So, but I think minimum, there are some that'll be down to, I think probably 2s is, I think it's probably as low as I could, all the recipes that I've tested. So there are only a few that they gave us to test. So it'd be interesting to see how they go.
Yeah. And from what I could see, there's none of the high heat recipes will be have their quantities changed because that's, you know, very specific. Okay. Are you turning it up so it works, so it does works quicker? Thought so. Nearly there. Wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll tell you what, whilst we're waiting, you let me know when you're ready, Irene. We will go, I'm going to share my screen again. And let's just have a quick look at the created recipes. Okay. So this is one that I actually put in myself. All right, so I put this in from scratch. It's actually quite easy to do, but what you do need to do is be very careful about how you do all these steps. So you need to highlight anything that needs scales or a function of the TM6. So, you know, with the milling or the chopping or the cooking, and you need to make sure you've got all those ingredients in there properly, because if you don't, you'll go into your scales and you won't know how much you've got to weigh. So what I find is I do this on my computer, and then I go to the screen of my Thermomix, because of course it's going to transfer over. You just have to, if you click done or whatever it is when you go in there, and then it will turn up on the screen of your TM6, and just read through the recipe on the screen of your TM6 as well. So I can actually quickly show you that too. Hold on, it's decided it's going to shut down. We might as well make use of the time. Hold on, let's stop sharing and shut itself down. So hang on. Sorry, it was come on, wake up. So has anyone tried to do any creative recipes yet? So on my YouTube channel there are actually a couple of there's 3 little videos there on how to do it, how to import, how to put your own in, and how to no, I don't want to resume my last recipe, and how to, yeah, so put your own in, import from Cookie Do, and import from the recipe community. I've shown you how to do all of those on the YouTube channel, so just go Mandy Powers YouTube and you'll find them. All right, it's connected to Cookie Do. Go into my recipes, created recipes. So we'll just pick that one I was just showing you before. Just waking up. All right, so you can see on here, it says start cooking. And then it says it's your own creation, da, 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 da. And it's telling me to grease the muffin pans, etc. And like, okay, it's when you get to something like this, and can you see these 2 buttons here at the bottom are highlighted? So that means in this step, there is some weighing and there's also some mixing or chopping. So if I click on the scales here, it comes up and it tells me I'm going to weigh in 100 grams of linseeds. Okay, and when I've done that, I'm going to this little thing here, and it's giving me the time. I've just kind of turned out to speed 9. So basically I'm turning my linseeds into linseed meal. Then I have to click back out of that and go to the next thing. So it's a bit clunkier than it is than the normal cooking off the screen, but it does work. So now it's wanting me to weigh in some more things. So I've got the other things I want to weigh in there. And oh no, I was meant to do this. Yeah, so weigh them, and then I've got to chop them, the dates. So I do it there, come back, and then I'm going to actually weigh boiling water into them. Okay, and so on. So you can see that these little steps are underlined in green, and they correspond to whatever's down here. So you just need to read. So you're adding 60 grams of butter, so you need your scales. Once that's done, you're going to cook for 3 minutes, 45 degrees on speed 2. So it's just, that's the bit you've got to really work out on the screen of when you're doing it on your computer, and then you just need to come and check that everything is there before you before it's all done. Okay, so it is a question it's very doable and it gets easier the more you do, but you do need to go backwards and forwards between your computer and the screen. All right, looks like Irene is ready to rock and roll over there. Okay, we know.
Guys, my meringue is just not happening tonight. I promise it does work. You saw the ones I did yesterday. You basically need to swirl them, and I promise they stand up. But this is too runny. It's just too runny. Yeah. So I'm really
Never mind.
I'm really sorry. But if I choose one that I had yesterday, but
Yeah,
when they're upright, I'm gonna make some again. What a disaster. Happens to the best of us.
well, you are the best of us, so
But I'm so disappointed. You basically push these. I can't do it now because this is not.
yeah.
This. Hang on. Let me
So you
put it-
push them in when it's soft.
Yeah, when it's soft, you push them in. So do you know what? I'm still gonna bake them. They're still gonna taste nice. You
Yeah,
push
they
them
will.
in. Yeah.
I tell you what, you could change the shape a little bit, and make
I'm
it look a
gonna
bit
change
ghostly.
it. So if I do little flat ones.
Yeah, but you could make them ghost shaped.
Like little octopuses or something. Oh, too funny.
There you are, got little ghosty eyes.
I got my little
Yeah,
ghost.
do some of those. They'll be perfect.
They'll be fine. But I promise they do work, which you can see.
Oh, I can see.
Okay.
Done an awesome job.
But I think, sorry, so that you can avoid what's happened to me tonight. So I thought I'd be clever and leave the eggs out because I bought some yesterday. Literally, when I got home yesterday, I used those eggs, which have been sitting in the fridge at Coles, Woolies, and I did them on the 37 degrees. I've got none in the fridge. So the eggs I've got out are just too warm. So I should have done them without 37. Mum's got the heater on. The room's quite hot. So hence flat pancakes instead. But I'm still going to cook them.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's a lesson for all of us, because I wouldn't have even thought about it. So I would have just gone, oh no, I've made a big mess. But they're resurrectable. So that's good. Well done.
The end of the world.
That's not the end of the world. Exactly right. Okay. So that is our, hang on. That is our spooky Halloween or Thermomix Halloween class. So I hope you do all give something a go, and I'd love you to send photos to your consultant, and let's just see what you all and just have a bit of fun. And if you try any of the other things, we'd love to see those too. So thank you so much for coming along tonight. Thanks, Shell. It was a bit of fun, and we're very grateful to you coming along. And it has been recorded, so if you need to go back and look at anything, then please do. Thanks very much. Thanks, Julie. Thanks, Selena. Oh, special thanks to Irene.
Bye.